Okay, we're live. It hung up for some reason on Twitter. It does that sometimes. There's Anthony. Come hang out, man. What are you doing? Why are you in the comments and not in here? So this is the first time we have been on here in a month. I'm pretty sure it's been a while. There's been a lot going on. Andrew and Adam just got back from Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Vietnam. So how was that? What do you guys do, and what was it like down there?
Yeah, so there was Builder Fest or Bidler Fest, uh, Vietnam. So all the Cardano builders from all over the world came there. We got to meet with a lot of the Asian developer community that we don't always get to see. So a lot of the devs from Vietnam, from Japan, um, that whole area of the world was really cool. And we talked about all the cool new stuff everybody was building. We talked Midgard, we talked Laos, we talked about the governance contracts that will hold all the money once withdrawals start happening. Um, we talked about uh, Babel fee stuff from the Fluid Token Skies, their aquarium. We got a demo of aquarium. That was really cool. And we got a whole lot of fun touristy stuff in too.
Yeah.
We got to travel and see giant Buddha statues and theme parks built on top of mountains. Lots of fun stuff happened. Saw
Yeah,
like a
I was
nighttime
getting some
dance
FOMO.
memory show in the historical district. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. No, I was getting FOMO. How do I pronounce his name? Is it Sarah? Sarah?
Sarah. Yeah,
Sarah from the
Sarah.
Socius team.
Yeah.
We have a private onboarding channel with those guys with a lot of people, but um, and so we've been having a conversation with that team for a little while, and he was posting pictures in there, and I was like, stop it. So what's the historic district of Vietnam like?
Well, there's so the town that the conference was in Da Nang, and just a little bit south of there is Hoi An. So this is like Japan, Vietnam is a very, very long, thin country, kind of on the coast there, and so top to bottom, it's huge. But so we're kind of right in the middle, and then a little bit south is Hoi An. Hoi An is kind of the ancient place where all the trade happened from all, like before it was, um, you know, thousands of years ago. So they'd have traders come in from Japan, come in from China, come in from Thailand, and then later, they had traders come from the UK and Europe. So it's just kind of this really interesting, bustling trade area, and they still had a lot of the, ancient bridges there. They had a lot of the old homes. Um, there's one house we looked through that was the oldest house in Hoi An. It was built entirely out of ironwood, this black wood. There was no windows, but it had like an open courtyard, and the family that lives there is still the same family as the guy that built the thing, like
Holy crap!
6 generations ago or something. It's nuts. Um,
Wow. See, that's the stuff that's interesting to me. I
yeah,
would
no,
like.
you would have loved the history of it, and they had this crazy awesome. Uh, Also in Hoi An, they called it the Memory Show, where it was kind of like a there was a giant open field and then like a water pit, and they just kind of told the story of the town through different scenes and of dance and lights and lasers and smoke machines, and it was just super cool.
That sounds like a drip drops meeting.
No, nothing like that.
A little bit better, probably.
Yeah. But no, it was really cool to meet Sarah. He gave me some chocolate from Japan. I've been eating that. It's really good.
Awesome. What's up, guys? What's up, Jane? Ryan and what are you doing, man? Come in here. So Bones hanging out with us. I don't know. Have you ever been on camera before? Well, I mean, some people know what you look like.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, just like with Hosky stuff or whatever, as far as doing videos.
well, it's good to see you, brother. Anybody who doesn't know, this is the guy who pretty much brought racing to Cardano to begin with. I know you're going to deny that, but it's true. You want to talk a little bit about that and how all that started and kind of where we are today, which is a pretty cool
Yeah.
place.
I mean, honestly, I was looking for a way to promote my pool. You know, I'm a stake pool operator and I'm working on a race car and I'm asking the boss like, hey, how much to sponsor the car? How much for me? You know, and we worked out a deal where it was like, all right, well, if you're going to go after companies that are building on Cardano for sponsors, fucking run your logos and we'll do it for like 3 weeks. And if don't nobody want to do anything, well then fuck it, you tried, you know. And we kept on going. It was like 8, 9, 10 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like we kept on doing it. Like, you know, what he said 3 weeks was longer than that. I guess I don't know, but that's honestly how it starts. You know, it was just like, hey, let's just splash, you know, Cardano all over this car and see what happens. And the rest pretty much, I mean, not history. I mean, a few people you know, would ask, you know, hey, how much to do it, and you know, it's really expensive, you know, for live racing. And Hosky was the one that wanted to step up. It was the big Lahosky, the artist, got a hold of me first, and he says, "Well, you need to talk to Hosky." And okay, and like I say, it just worked out from there.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple more races where, like, hey, like, you know, Hosky's not putting the whole bill, so like, we've got other space and we can do, you know, like kind of sell a quarter panel to 4 different people in a sense and try to do it that way. And we did that once, and the car owner wasn't as happy because it really didn't look good. You know, like trying to put so many different colored logos on the same car, it just, you know, it wasn't beautiful. You know. So that pretty much stops that. And then I don't know, just that we met Brian Murphy, and iRacing was a tenth of the price easily, you know. And it was like, all right, well, we can keep the same images, we can keep the idea going, and then you know we'll you know try to do the same thing, you know, just keep logos on race cars and put those logos in front of Web2 people that are like, what in the hell is this? What do I do with it? How do I do with it? You know, just hoping that it garnered some interest.
No, that's
Andrew
cool.
just sent me a video. I'm trying to find it. I don't know what my computer just did with it.
Yeah, it's in Slack. It was this was a picture or a video that was taken on Adam's birthday, and we were riding in these circular boats through the coconut forest. It's like a whole flooded area, and you can take these coconut boat rides. And because it was Adam's birthday, they put him in a boat with this one guy who's like really good, and they made him like kind of ride the mechanical bull in the water. So it's a pretty funny video of Adam hanging on for dear life.
So right now we have how many Cardano teams do we have that are sponsoring some of the iRacing stuff?
In iRacing, there's USDM, Starch. We did an iGod car. Like that was like early on. We've done, let's see, Ascent Rivals was a video game that actually got Catalyst funding.
Cool
What else?
project too.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cool people. Fagan Pool. And there was a Adam brought one called Gatekeeper. We did one for them.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I'm sorry if I forget them, but like it's been, I mean, it's a couple of years. Like it's really like it's been 2 years solid of us, from 23, I think is when we've started, the iRacing thing. So it's pretty much every Tuesday night since then.
Yep. Yeah, we try to do well. I say we. And sorry, I'm not using your names. I don't know if anybody even if you do that. Have you used your actual name?
Yeah, I'm Greg, but I mean my nickname is Bone, so that's how Bone Pool starts. Is I'm Greggy Bone, and so
I didn't know if you actually used your real name publicly or not. So I didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean my Facebook was my regular name, and once I think I doxed honestly like the Dodge SRT thing had us completely doxed, and it was like okay, well then I can't really get away from that, so and then they shut down. So
Okay, I think I figured out. I think I figured this out. Maybe start encode. Okay, I had to encode. I use Handbrake to encode it. So you mentioned Ascent Rivals, Starch, which King Potato is supposed to join us, right?
I did. I sent him the guest invite thing.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure this video out and it's driving me crazy. What in the world am I doing?
But the most recent race we ran, I think, has been the best one of all of them that we've done. Like it was the Tater 225. We had a Cardano car up front most of the whole race. The Drip Drops car was strong the whole time. Like we showed well. Like unfortunately the Starch car I think ran 19th. Like, Joseph was up front a couple of times through the pit stop cycles, but they ended up like further back. But yeah, winning the Starch 220 or winning the Tater 225, I think was probably my highlight of all of it, really.
Yeah.
Justin, TV.
What was the race last week?
Homestead, like regular Homestead.
Okay. Wasn't there
So
a Tater recently?
That was the Tater 225 was this past Tuesday night.
Who won that?
Adam Garza, the Cardano car, won the Tater 225.
Yeah, duh. There was a race recently where like everybody from Murphy Esports, shout out to Brian Murphy and his crew. Like everybody was in the top 10.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we
right.
We put everybody in the top 10.
Drip Drops, and what's the fourth one?
It's a Murphy Esports car. Thurston is the another road race ringer who's proven to be just as good on ovals.
Yeah, that was an unsponsored car that night, wasn't it?
Well, Murphy, yeah.
Yeah.
It says Murphy Esports, and the other one says I think Digital Downforce was one of the design teams. That's other Murphy sponsors that spin off from his side.
So speaking of taters, what's up, Abstract?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, your volume's a little low.
Oh, not sure how to fix that. First time using this.
I might be able to do it. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's just distant from the mic, it sounded like.
It might be. Let me see. Maybe I just got to get a little bit closer to the. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. How's everybody doing? I didn't want to interject in the conversation. I saw you guys were kind of flowing, so.
I literally just woke up. I laid down to take a nap like 3 hours ago, and it evolved without my permission. So.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good thing.
So what's good with you? What's new with you? What's going on?
There's a lot of stuff going on. It's just I'm trying to avoid the Twitter side of things as much as possible right now. Mostly because it's just there's so much going on,
Yeah.
It just yeah. there's a lot there was just a lot of negativity there for a minute. So I was just like, let me just focus on what I want to focus on the things that are most important, and just develop on the work on those things. But yeah,
Damn
mostly
carrots.
it's just been fundamental stuff. Oh, go ahead.
I was
I
just gonna,
said, damn carrots.
yeah.
Well, funny enough, they submitted a proposal, big carrot on our GitHub for a CIP3, which is to make all storage pools mithril signers. So I'm doing a bit of research on that to see what are the benefits of that? How can we make that easier for people? See if there's any guides, and also just to add maybe a couple more things to that same proposal, like maybe make it a code of conduct for storage pools and kind of go in that direction. So it's going to be a
Hey,
little bit.
the guide sounds good because when I talked to Krista about it a couple of weeks ago, or it might have been a month ago, she was having some sort of trouble and she wasn't able to go back and run through to see where her trouble was. And then I hit her up again, after I saw the SIP, and I was like, okay, we actually have to do something about our metro thing. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
But she said, man, I need a refresher course or something.
yeah, we need something that's just super easy for people to just pick up on. I haven't done enough research on that. I'm just kind of having conversations with, I'm trying to have the discussions on the Discord and just kind of running that while I'm running other things. So we'll see how that goes. It'll probably take a month or two to determine like what is it that we exactly need to do, and then I just encourage anybody that wants to get involved to have the conversation, so we can kind of go through that process a little bit smoother. Everybody can kind of say what is it that they want, what they don't want in the proposal, specifically the storage pools, and then yeah, but it's an open conversation, so it'll be fun. We'll see. It's the first time we're doing it this way for the SIPs. So for the first few, it's just been me, but I want to get the community more involved and kind of give people more stuff to do. It's kind of fun.
Hey, is the vote up right now for the next couple starch pools?
So the vote starts on the 17th of May. We have, I think, so far it's been 7 proposals. I mean, 7 people that have, not proposals, I'm still on the SIP thing. 7 people have submitted pools. Bless you. That have submitted. So I got to go through those, make sure that they fit a good criteria of, being active in the community and all these different things. And then, yeah, and then we'll do the vote. It'll be fun. And then the vote is going to run for.
No, the SIPs. I'm gonna jump in front of you real quick. The SIPs for starch is similar to the SIPs for Cardano, but it's spelled differently. It's instead of CIPS for Cardano Improvement Proposal, it's SIPS for starch improvement proposals.
The real SIP, man. That's the real SIP.
Adam Dean helped. I think Adam helped put that together, right? The whole process for how SIPs work with starch.
Yeah. So he wrote, what do you call that? The manifesto, which is kind of funny. It's a good. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything technical, but it's just a fun thing that people.
Funny, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we don't have a good process for that just yet. Mostly because I don't know, it's just documentation and working through those things. So as a community, we have to kind of get together and figure that out. I'm just trying to get as prepared as possible so we can start heading in that direction as well. Because then we can write those proposals, we can go through the motions of that, and then determine, okay, well, what is it that we really need to do, and what is it that people want to be able to do on the blockchain?
Right.
There's some other.
Anybody interested in any of this stuff? I put a bunch of links in the description already. So there's links to Abstract. So if you go find his Twitter page, you'll find information on Starch. There's links to Greg and Bonepool and Murphy and all that stuff if you're interested in the Cardano racing. There's links to the USDM announcement that happened this morning and their website. And I guess that's kind of a big one. Andrew, you want to jump into that a little bit? I know you've been working towards this day for a little while.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for the team. We finally decided to pull the trigger on retail minting for USDM. So if you're in one of the 19 states that we support, you can go to the website and learn a little bit more, and then figure out how to mint your own USDM directly. I think the minimum is $1,000 to mint. The reason for that is if you want less, you can always just grab it off of a DEX, swap some ADA for it or something. But yeah, there's fees involved on our side, so we don't want to have people minting too small amounts, because then it just eats into the amount we can keep in the bank. But yeah, it's minting's open, and not everything's perfect, but it was time to launch. So it was more important to get the token in the hands of the community more than it was important to get the user experience perfect. So that's kind of where we're at. You may find a few little things that are just like, oh, that's a little funny, but the main thing is you can do the minting and it should all work just fine. So
Yeah. Now we're
Is,
most.
Fascinating stuff.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
is Florida one of those states? Because our race Tuesday
yes, it
night
is.
our race Tuesday night is Sebring, so we could do like maybe the USDM 225 or something.
Heck yeah. No,
That'd be cool.
I grew up around Sebring. My grandmother lived there for a very, very long time, so I know that area very, very well. Sebring and Lake Placid area.
I actually I talked about this at lunchtime today. They were wanting to do something for Hosky for the for this next title race for the iRacing thing, and I was like, man, with USDM launching right now, let's do USDM. I mean, like yes, thank you, Hosky, but like, well, let's do something different, like for the time frame,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you guys will be, I guess the track is the simulated one from Sebring, or
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it's the concrete bumping madness, and they're running
Okay.
cup cars on Sebring, so it's gonna be a good time, I think, because I mean that place is flat and unforgiving and
Yes.
hard on equipment, and I've raced there a lot, like, and it's a crazy place.
If Florida is nothing else, Florida is flat. I will give you that. Yeah.
So, what were some of the hurdles, I guess, getting to this point? Were they mostly legal? Were they mostly technical? What was?
It's a bit of everything. So, the first hurdle was, for me, it was a bit of an archaeology project, because I was coming in, the original CTO and team had kind of left, for their own reasons. They're still around. I talked to them, but they're not in the day to day. So it was a bit of like, okay, figure out what had gone on before, and then work with the team that was still here, and then bring on some new people to try and get things moving. And we had some setbacks with the UI UX. We were planning on rewriting the whole user interface, but I don't know if you know Sean Davies. He passed away in addition to
Yeah.
Matt, and so that kind of set us back on that. So we launched with the previous user experience. The new one is being carried on in Sean's honor, and we'll have that available at some point, but it's not there for launch. But yeah, it was a lot of regulatory junk. So like, it would be really nice if you could go on there, connect your bank account, connect your wallet, say mint, and then it would send the transaction from your bank right through. And that was all supposed to be done with Plaid. Well, Plaid debanked us during the Biden administration. And they were like, no, you can't do transactions through our system because you're a crypto company. So we have the ability to connect to Plaid to verify that they have a valid bank account, but we're not allowed to send a transaction through that system. So the experience is, we display, here's the wire transfer info, then you have to go to your bank and fire off the wire transfer with a little code we give you in the memo field. And that's kind of how it works right now. So it's not a beautiful user experience, but like I said before, it's more important to get the product in the hand of the customer than it is to make the experience perfect right off the bat.
Right.
So it's things like that that are just not quite where they need to be. But no, I'm really proud of the team. They've been working really, really hard to get us over the line. And yeah, I mean, the demand is there. We need the stable coin to attract outside liquidity anyway. And so it's been a good launch so far. I think we've got a handful of people that have already put in to mint today. So we'll see how the day shakes out.
So maybe Adam will hop in. We'll see.
Oh, I just see a new user account getting created on the back end. That's a good
Nice.
sign.
So do you get to use Firehose over there too?
No,
No.
nope. It's currently using Noom Chain.
Okay, cool. We use Noom Chain for some things, don't we? Or drip drops. I say we drip drops.
We did at one point when we were building
remember.
out some features, but I think we backburnered those features. Anything we were doing with the smart contract stuff got kind of backburnered and pulled out. But yeah, it uses Noom Chain for most of the transaction building and submission right now.
This doesn't make any sense. I converted that file to MP4 with Handbrake.
Mm-hmm. And it won't
But
let
it's
it
not.
pull it into.
I don't even see it in here. It's so odd. Let me check my output settings on Handbrake, make sure I didn't send it to a goofy place.
It's all right.
Oh, I did. I sent it to a goofy place.
Yeah, I'm going to post a link to the Arnetta site if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where people can start if they want to get more information about minting. There should be a big button when you go to that website in the upper right. It's like retail launch, and you can get more information about retail minting and launch there. When Texas? That's a great question, and I don't know. We have Edward, who came on board full time, I think a week or two ago, and he's our compliance officer, and they are working feverishly on submitting to the states that we have not yet gotten approval in.
Wait, Edward? You mean Eddie, right?
Eddie. Edward, Eddie. I was trying to be respectful, but yeah, we all call him Eddie.
That's a fun guy, man. Like we met him in 1694 and learned he had done like professional mascot work, and we were like,
Yes.
"Well, dude, well then, like you're in, like you're going to be the Husky mascot, man. That's just how this is going to be."
Yeah.
And he didn't like. So we were selling it as, dude, this is the guy that does all the backflips, and he's like, "No, I don't do any of that." I'm like, "Dude, shut up. We're trying to sell it." Like,
No, I had a conversation about him when we first met because I've never been a mascot, but I did have like a couple weeks in college where I joined the cheerleading squad. And it worked out until they started having me lift girls that were too big for me, and then I wasn't too good. But yeah, I could do backflips and stuff back in the day.
I can see that. I can see you doing that.
Yeah, and then I went back to the track team. So
I mean, you still have, I'm not going to say your age, but you still have quite a bit of energy. I think you've got about 5 years on me.
energy wise or
year wise.
Yeah, no, I'm 47. And I still do the
Three
rock
years on.
climbing.
Yeah, you're a pretty active guy. I mean, I'm fairly out of shape, which I've lost. I've lost 40, a little over 40 pounds since Puerto Rico.
Okay. So you ought to look a lot different the next time I see you.
Hopefully now that it's summertime, I can tell a huge difference that I'm if I can stop cigarettes, I think I'll be in real good shape. I've definitely cut back quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, no, Adam was able to get off cigarettes, I know.
yeah,
Well, he was on the vape,
yeah.
but he had the little the thing that worked the best for him was the little like whistle pipe where it's just, the habit of breathing through a little tube,
I
the
remember he was doing
restriction.
that, yeah. So like right now I got toothpicks and I got gum and I got the vape and I've got cigarettes, and so I'm trying to I don't know if weaning myself off is the right word. Maybe that is the right word.
I think Adam and Sarah also did the patch.
Yeah.
To get themselves off.
But when we were in Puerto Rico, I guess it's about a year ago now, close to it. What was that? Last August, last September.
Yeah, it was the 1694 workshop down there.
But we took off on a little small hike, just me and you, down. I mean, literally just down Kyle's driveway. But when we got to the bottom of that hill and had to go back up, I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, we saw some pretty cool that big ass lizard down there.
Iguana or whatever it was. Yeah, he was cool.
That was fun.
All right, I got this video. If I got it finally got it outsmarted, so I'm gonna.
So we're gonna show you what Adam spent his time doing in Vietnam.
That's something to do when you get 4 or 5 good stiff drinks in you.
Yeah, that was early in the day. I don't think he drank until after that. So
that looks kind of fun. I don't know how the guy maneuvering the boat can do that all day long. Hopefully he doesn't do that.
No, I think he just practice. Yeah, he takes one person from each group that floats by, and then they have the sound system there just playing Gangnam Style over and over and over. And he just does that all day. That's his life.
That sounds maddening. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds maddening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had the song in my head for quite a while after that.
Yeah, that guy's got an equilibrium of steel.
Yeah, then there was the further down, there was another guy that had like a platform, and they had like a karaoke machine. So we're just floating on boats out there, karaoke machine, and it's Adam's birthday. So B got up and she sang happy birthday to him, and then they're like, Adam, come on up here, and he didn't know what to sing. So he's like, what should I sing? And I was like, tequila. I was like, picked the song that like nobody would know if he screwed it up, because nobody spoke Spanish there in Asia. And so he's up there trying to sing the words to tequila. So
that's funny.
Or no, not tequila. The other
La Bamba.
Yeah, La Bamba.
Oh, because I was thinking doing the Pee Wee Herman dance.
No, tequila's easy because there's only one word. But yeah, the Pee Wee Herman dance would be funny too. But yeah, no, he was. I had him do La Bamba.
That's funny. So where are you at right now, Greg? There's a lot of cool stuff in the background. I see trophies and cars and the iRacing logo back there, and So
Well, I'm
what
at
do you
work.
do every day?
You started the space at 3 o'clock. I'm still at work. So this is Rev Racing. So we've got 2 ARCA cars and 4 late models, and it's always everything's always going somewhere. Cars going somewhere every week. But
So
yeah,
how do you get started working in that industry?
So when I was a wee little kid, my dad worked on a team as a pit stopper, a weekend warriors they called them then. And then as the years went on, I just kind of gravitated towards it, and then eventually you find out, oh, they're paying people like a salary to work on cars. And I was like, okay, well then I'll go for that. And that starts like maybe almost 30 years ago. So like I just left high school and said, hey, let's go racing.
Heck yeah. I grew up around motorcycles and some cars too. But my dad had a custom motorcycle shop in Zebulon, North Carolina, which is not terribly far from where you are. And me and my brother are both machinists. You learn how to weld, you learn how to do electrical stuff. You all kinds of mechanical stuff. And on a motorcycle, to me,
You need all of that.
it's different from cars because it's a lot easier to work on a motorcycle in most cases as far as access goes. But like it also depends on the kind of car you're working on, because like I've got a 74 F100 that I can get inside the engine bay and have a seat and sit there all day long nice and comfy and do what I want to do. But yeah, I mean, I love anything mechanical or electrical or whatever. So that whole world is appealing to me. I wish I had more space here to, do some of that stuff here. But
So to carry on the Brian Murphy, like I guess maybe to tag different things, he's also been in this industry, for most of his life. And we meet him around 2005. He's what we call a techie. He was going to the NASCAR Technical Institute, and he got placed, in another team, and when we grabbed him from there, and like it's just kind of the rest is history. So he came to us as a greenhorn completely, and we beat him. Like, so basically you give him the worst job and that's just how you get up. But he had a drive about him is what was wild. Like he had more of a drive than most of the others that had come through. So like you gave him a little more guidance. You gave him a little more because you could tell he wanted it more. But to prove how gung-ho he was, and so this is a Sebring story. I'm working on an IMSA Viper at Sebring. And I look downrange down pit road and I see this orange-haired kid walking towards me. I'm like, that can't be Brian Murphy in Sebring, can it? And like, I'm like, so of course, dude, what are you doing here? And he's like, just drove down here, thought I'd try to get a job on pit road. Holy fuck, man. Are you for real? Where are you staying? I'm staying in my truck. God almighty. Like, okay, let's see if we can get you something. And sure enough, like half hour later, he had a gig running tires for another team. And then at the end of the day, that team figured out that he was sleeping in his truck. So one of the drivers gives him the hotel key. He goes, here, man, I'm going to sleep in my bus. I'm not sleeping in that hotel. Here, you can have my room. It's an extra room. So Brian wakes up on like the turn 17 in the chateau, like balcony overlooking like the last turn of Sebring, like, and just drove down there just to work on, like, just like on a whim, So it's that kid is so lucky on that one, but it just again want to praise his drive. Like he's been that same character the whole time.
that's cool. So where is he from? North Carolina too?
He's from Wisconsin. He moved to North Carolina to chase the dream and stayed here, surviving the nightmare, we call it.
I left the dream. I'll be back eventually. I love North Carolina though. I mean, it's home, so.
But he went on to run Stuart Haas is a big cup team, and like he was running the fab shop there, put it that way. And he's one of those he's going to be involved in all of the NASCAR stats, all of the NASCAR goings on, the dramas, just everything. He's just in the middle of it, and again, I couldn't have found a better person to say, "Hey, Greggy, we're going to start iRacing. You want to start sponsoring?" Yes, obviously, with you, hell yeah. Like let's run it like a race team. Let's beat our drivers. Let's make them work hard. And we treated it like a simulation, like we would a real team. You got to find sponsors. You got to find good talent in the seat, and you got to keep winning. You got to show the next whoever's coming next year, we've got good equipment. I mean, there's just all kinds of things, and hopefully we can build on it and go to more expensive series, and in the more expensive series we get more eyes on the logos. So in what we're doing right now, it's really cheap, and if we can get a couple hundred people to watch, that's amazing. Like that's a phenomenal night, but that's not enough for advertising money. So to go further up, it's quite a bit bigger bump, and almost actually to the level of what live racing would be as far as money spent. So which way do you go? I mean, we don't have the money to do either side. So kind of, but which way do you pitch, I guess, is the point.
Right.
Is the digital thing enough? Is enough people going to vote for it without the thunder of a race day live type thing? Because man, there's something to be said for live V8 racing. So it's tough, and I guess now that there seems to be some push for marketing and Cardano logos, well then hopefully we can grab a side of it and help carry the flag. I mean, we've got a lot of ideas for things to do at the track that we can't do just because financially bound. We'd like to do more displays for the fans and like to do more one-on-one with the fans and be on that side of the track, on the grandstand side. But we've got so much work to do on the inside of the track to make the car run. It was a huge expense to try to split off. So anyway, that's the direction we're hoping. Yeah, I'd put Devin outside and make him talk now. It wouldn't be him.
Devin is the number 26 Drip Drops car driver.
Oh, absolutely, and definitely. The lineup that we have for talent. I mean, we're lucky to find. Man, Devin is an amazing driver, but man, this kid Adam comes in and just takes off like a rocket. So you thought you had well, man, how's it get any better than this? And then there's better, and then man, you see there's better than Adam, and it's oh man, it's crazy how much time they put into their craft to get good at these stuff. But.
Yeah, Devin is really. I'm make sure guys do this often, but they were in a design jam one night late, and so I hopped in the call with them and was just kind of watching, and they were just going back and forth on ideas and how fast Devin was able to execute very complex design changes. Blew my freaking mind. I've been playing around with Photoshop since the late 90s. And so I feel like I'm pretty, adept and adequate to manipulate that piece of software. No, I'm not worthy.
Yeah, his design stuff is really good. He's been on point on all of these designs have been really good. I mean, most all of them.
I still can't get over how fast he was. It was insane to watch. And he was doing shit with tools I didn't even know was possible. But anyway.
Yeah, we just need to get Devin acclimated with our environment and what the words mean and who all the players are and how they fit into everything. That's the one thing that seems like he's no interest in. So, but maybe.
Last year, Devin was kicking a lot of ass and taking a lot of names, really running really well all year long, all season long. And then he had a baby. And so now I think his night shift, I think he's waking up. I wanted to pick on him if we got a chance to get together on a space. Because I got a feeling that his night shift routine has changed a little bit.
Yeah, he'll pick up speed as that kid becomes a toddler and is on a better schedule. He'll get faster.
Man, I mean every kid's different, Desmond, thank God, he pretty much always slept all through the night. But I know a lot of our friends and family with young children. It doesn't usually work out that way.
Yeah, whenever I went into those design meetings, of course, all I'd be yelling is, make Cardano bigger. Like, I want to see it on the backstretch.
Yeah, need more Cardano. So what's next? What's next in line for Moneta USDM?
I think next is fixing up the UI. We're talking about a Euro stablecoin.
Oh,
And looking
what would
at,
that entail?
I think it's mostly just regulatory stuff over in Europe with our partnership with NBX and setting up bank accounts, setting up Charlie 3 integration, um, all of that kind of stuff to get a Euro stablecoin going. It's not as like there's market demand for it because people would want to trade with a Euro stablecoin, but it's not as lucrative as far as the banking side. Like, so Moneta can't make as much profit off of it because they have rules like you got to have so much percentage just sitting in a regular old checking account for liquidity, which then that's stuff that's not earning money.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of next. We're also looking at bridges, talking to people building bridges to Bitcoin, building bridges to Midnight, potentially looking at minting directly on Midnight, but it's still early days there. Yeah,
That'll be
and then
cool.
there's just a lot going on the biz dev side. I know you guys normally have James on this sometimes, and he's doing a lot on the business development side of things. Just finding use cases, finding minting, working on wallet integrations, just trying to make stablecoins easy to use on Cardano.
Brian, are you in the car? What's up, man?
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Really good. Just had to pick up the little one. Sorry I couldn't have been here any sooner, but yeah, just driving back to the house. He's fallen asleep, so it's everything I could ask for. But yeah, glad to join you guys for a little bit.
Yeah. The USDM team had a big launch today. They have a retail, I guess, UI now. And who's the driver for the USDM car? Is that Adam? That's not Adam.
Joseph Mealy.
That's right.
Yep, he's had W3I Moneta on quite a few times this year, and we'll probably see those schemes return here in a couple of weeks when we kick off the playoffs and head back to some of the bigger shows with hopefully a little bit more viewership. But yeah, it's always good to see some big time updates and big time releases from our partners. So exciting stuff, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
What's new with Murphy? With Team Murphy? What do you have in the stable right now?
Not much. Like just we're in like the thick of the season. We need to keep gaining points each week as we try to pat that playoff, our playoff pocket. The SRA series is just completely packed and saturated with some incredible iRacing talent. So anytime you can put some stage points in the bank or regular season points, it's just going to make your chances at a title down the road easier. So, but yeah, it's been a tough year. Like I said, this series has grown so much in the 2 years. Since me and Greg and Bonepool have kind of put this deal together. It's great to see. It's great for iRacing and the community. It's been a ton of fun. When I first started Murphy Esports and got with Greg, my whole plan was to kind of introduce a real race team style mentality with opportunities for drivers to represent real partners and real people and it's tough to find iRacing in a real way. Like, we could go get a toilet paper sponsor, but would they really care about iRacing, right? So that's one thing I wanted to do, is find a group of people that it just made sense. The iRacing, the technology, the everything that's going into the team, and finding these Cardano partners has really made this whole deal not only incredibly fun for me, but for the drivers, where they again have real people, real partners to representatives of that being on their shoulders. It's more than just running a video game, for a lack of a better word. Here's this somewhat tough season, but there's still an enormous amount of opportunity out there. But hopefully we can cap off this season with a championship.
Yeah, for sure. A toilet paper sponsor could work. Go fast, clean fast.
Especially for Hosky.
Yeah. that joined in right as you guys were talking about Devin and designing cars, and it's a lot of fun to sit down with Devin and the drivers, and we get in arguments. We're really passionate about putting out clean looking designs that look like real race cars, and that people can be excited about to watch on their TV and see them compete. It's not real life racing, but these guys put in so much hard work and effort and testing, and going into Sebring next week, a road course. They're going to test all night tonight, getting ready for that race. So they just put in so many hours of work, making sure that they can be the best they can.
Yeah, for sure. Everything seems easy when you're watching, the armchair quarterback thing, but when you actually get in there, I've been in a I don't think it was iRacing, but it was a very similar simulator, and it felt like being on the road. I think the model I was driving was some sort of Ferrari, but it was a very difficult car to keep on the track. There's definitely a lot of skill involved in that. So I guess the same can be said for like flight simulation and stuff like that. Like, it looks easy until you start doing it.
Yeah, it's not easy. The guys always give me shit because I don't have an iRacing rig. I don't even have a steering wheel or pedals. I tried it once and I was so bad. It's a lot easier to find good people and try to put them in a good position to showcase their talents than it is for me to get behind the wheel and either wreck real race cars, which I've done enough, or wreck fake ones. But I always say in a lot of these chats, it'd be super fun to get a group together in Charlotte where we can meet and learn more about Cardano and share ideas about that space. But also,
Wait, I forgot to tell him. I forgot to tell him Murphy drove. Murphy tried driving a late model at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did okay. I was pretty happy, but I still had no business being behind the wheel of a real race car. But yeah, it would definitely be a lot of fun to get everybody together down here and find a place with a sim rig and let everybody try it out. And we had that get together, the D-Rep meeting at Rev Racing that Bone Pool put together, and that was so much fun getting to meet everybody that was there and to share ideas and for me just learn so much. I'm still very much a newbie in the Cardano space, but it's something interesting to me that I've got my own wallets now and trying to grow my scene as well.
And there's 5 sim rigs here. we should have the meet up in North Carolina. Come on.
Yeah, dude. One night, this was probably 1990, 98, 99. There's a road, this New Bethel Church Road in Garner, North Carolina, and there's a stretch of it that's about I'm gonna say about 2 miles, and this is about as straight as you can get in the middle of nowhere. Like it's hard to get real straight on the road in the middle of nowhere in the central North Carolina, but it was a lot. This is what I would do sometimes at nighttime. About 1, 2 in the morning, I'd go out there, and I still have it. It's a 74 F100, 390 aboard, 60 over, cam to death. It's a sleeper. 300 rear Detroit locker, 45 new process on the floor. That truck would go. You wouldn't think it from looking at it, but it will go. Anyway,
At
I
least
would
you
go
were
out
smart
there.
enough to put the locker in it. I can tell you, most of the street riders try to run on spools and they wreck themselves.
Yeah. So anyway, at nighttime, I'd go out there and I'd turn off the headlights and just haul fucking ass down that road. And one night I pulled that trick, and I had my friend Clay Jordan. He had just got home from boot camp. He was down in Parris Island. He joined the Marines. He came home. Me and him were out being stupid, and I was hauling ass. And I went by a little cutout, and there was a state trooper sitting there. So the lights, I see the lights come on. I am already by the time he's actually behind me, coming after me, he is very far away. And I know where all them old farm roads and shit are, and it had just rained not long before. And so I get off the main road and go back and pull in behind the house. I didn't have to turn off my lights because they were already off. And I'm sitting there, my butthole's so tight you couldn't have put a 16-penny nail up there. And next thing you know is zoom, this cop car goes hauling ass, by us. So he knew we were somewhere out there, but he obviously didn't see me pull in. But that's the kind of shit we used to do back in the day. Not too smart.
And live to tell the tale.
I don't condone it, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we need to get you a sim rig like pronto.
But yeah, that truck could get away from you. I almost wrecked it on the belt line, chasing a guy in a Mustang, racing a guy in a Mustang, trying to. I didn't win.
Because your drag racers weren't about handling.
Yeah. I wonder if the track in the Johnston County drag strip is still active. Now, we were talking about closing it when I used to go years and years and years ago. But then there's close to me where I was, there's Southern National. That was a fun track to go to.
Is there a drag strip at Southern National?
I don't think so.
Oh, you talk about the oval.
Yeah, just an oval track.
Lucama, North Carolina.
That's right.
Wait, is that where you're at right now, or that's not where you're at now, though, right?
No, I'm in Southern Indiana. No, I lived in Garner and Clayton and kind of around that area, the Johnston County, Wake County border. So, I mean, Lucama is
Wake County.
not real close. It was about a 45-minute hour drive, maybe further than that, actually. It was a little ways. Yeah, Wake County.
And these are tracks that we go to like all the time. Like Wake County's a little quarter-mile track, and they run late models
on Simpkins Road.
Yeah, Wake County's on the schedule for a lot of the series, a lot of super late model series and what have you.
That's crazy. I didn't know you guys actually. Well, there's Kyle. Damn.
What up,
I didn't
dude?
know you guys. What's up, brother? I didn't know you guys went to Wake County Speedway.
Oh, it's small. Like that's the smallest place they go to, but it's shaped so unusual. It makes for good racing. Like it's I don't mean anything to anyone else, but it's a little caraway. It's a miniature caraway speedway, and that kind of gives it character. I don't know, I like it.
Glenn Simpkins, the guy that owns that, I know him, and he's the anyway. I dated a girl that lived on Simpkins Road right there for a long time. But yeah, I don't know if Glenn is still alive or not. He was up there in age the last time I saw him. That was a long time ago. Really, really cool guy. But yeah, that's a tiny track.
Oh, you're a tiny track.
Your mama's a tiny track. No, she's not. What are you doing?
Not much. Just got a meeting.
How'd it go?
Good. Good.
So, Chris, our NASCAR thing, our proposal didn't go over so well. Like whoever I've handed it to never hasn't called back or no one's like, I mean, it's a complete ghost town on that one.
Well, we'll know if they implement it. It's like it's live on their website in a couple months.
Yeah, probably.
No, that's how it goes with those things.
Thank you, baby.
I think it's a great idea. Excuse me. But yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, how about Potato? He came in and we haven't talked about his new implementation.
Yeah, what's new with Starch?
That logo's wild.
Just most of the stuff that I mentioned. Working on some SIPs, working on some infrastructure related stuff. We have a couple of servers doing a lot of work, and as more people join, it tends to get a little bit busy. So we have to upgrade some of the servers and things like that. So that's kind of the process where we are right now because things are getting a bit loaded. We have one server with a shit ton of responsibilities. So, and at the beginning when we started, it made sense to do that, but yeah, now it doesn't make any sense anymore. So I'm slowly moving things off of that and putting it in other places, creating some systems that we can use for more fun stuff like events and stuff like that, and just setting those things aside. But yeah, it's mostly just that, just the SIPs. I've been working on some deep infrastructure stuff, updating the snapshot server that I've been working on, just making sure that works really well, so that we can build applications on top of it. Yeah, just more of those kinds of. I mean, it's grueling work. I'll be honest, because it's just like, okay, well, at what point, I'm building tooling basically so that I, as a developer, and then other people can later on be used to make some more interesting stuff with Starch, and also trying to make sure that they don't. They call that they can concurrently work together without breaking anything, because that seems to be an issue. But yeah, for the most part, that I took apart Potato Pay and put it back together. So I'm in the process of doing that too, because I had a conversation. We had a conversation about that, Bo, and I haven't fully decided on what kind of infrastructure we want to go with that, because I want to add some key features into that, and I want people to just be able to do stuff by themselves instead of having to dictate them from a top-down perspective, like fragmentation of tokens and fragmentation of NFTs, so that people could be able to do that kind of stuff on the network itself without requiring any type of permission from me or anything like that. And yeah, just trying to make it so that people have a really cool set of tools, not just for developers, but just for the people themselves. One thing that I've considered for a while is to start giving people the ability to put data into the current blocks, so that. But I want to do it in a way. Yeah, I want to do it in a way that's fun. Like maybe only the person that gets the block is the one that is able to submit data.
That'd
But
be cool though. Yeah, add your own little signature to the block somehow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we could do that using existing technology through Cardano. So it would be fun to do that. We could use CIP8, which you know, for anybody that's been following along with a lot of stuff that I've been doing, that's one of my probably my favorite SIPs right now from Cardano. Just because of just signing data is just really cool. It's a really cool feature that Cardano has. But and being able to use that to just do some interesting stuff off chain, or on our blockchain, but still using the security layer from Cardano is really interesting stuff. So it's a lot of experimental things. I have a notebook here with just a bunch of random notes because the infrastructure of Cardano is so interesting, and I don't think a lot of people talk about this. It's so flexible. I mean, it takes a little while to get used to for if you're coming from a different place. But once you get into it, it's so damn flexible um, that you can do a lot of really interesting things. So I'm trying to learn, trying to take from what I've learned there and trying to implement it into the existing systems. Like, how do we make that? How do we make these things work together really, really well, but also kind of in a way that's on their own, if that makes sense. So it just gives you a shit ton of flexibility, but really robust. And I think that that's really the powerful thing about Cardano that a lot of people, unless you get really into the technical stuff, you don't really learn. That it's just really robust, but also really, really flexible. Um, yeah, that's a little bit of a rant there, but just experimenting with these systems and trying to figure out, okay, how do I make this more interesting and more fun to use, and how do we make the UI in specific ways so that it's better. It's a lot of work, but I absolutely love it. Just the fact of I just feel like we're in the like with what USDM is doing right now. Not to make a direct comparison, but I think that we're just like in that we're just exploring new territory as a blockchain. It's really cool. And there's so many things that you can do with Cardano that I don't think you can do with other blockchains, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, thanks for throwing all that out, man. It's yeah. I've been reading through the
Bro, man.
what was that?
I think somebody was hot mic'd.
Oh,
Tom,
that-
I got a hot coffee over here. Hold on, me and my nuts are going through some shit. Carry on.
yeah. Yeah, take care of that, man. Don't let that fall on your nuts. um, yeah, I was reading through the Ouroboros paper again, trying to get really deep into that. Trying to see is there anything here that I can learn because we have to update. You guys can stop me at any point because I know I'm going on a super rant here. I haven't really been in spaces or anything for a while, so I have a lot of stuff that I haven't really mentioned. But we need to do an update to IPRC to that SIP and how that thing works. And I'm looking through Ouroboros to see. Well, maybe there might be something here. And Bone mentioned this, and there's a couple other people that mentioned it as well. We talked about it last. That maybe an inverse of what Ouroboros does, apply that to the stake pools through storage. And I'm just trying to look through those numbers. Like, is there something there that we could use? No, go ahead.
Hey, I was coming at it from a redneck standpoint. If they've already worked K out like that and it works that good, why not just fucking plug your numbers into the side of it and use it?
Yeah, I mean that it's an interesting way of looking at it. The it's just since we have as of right now we have what eight storage pools. We kind of have to do that, but only with the 8 that we have. So trying to do that math there, and then also with the new SIP that we're working on for SIP 3, that was just proposed a little while ago for the Mithril signers. I want to add some stuff there that'll probably hopefully also attach to IPRC. So we'll see how all that runs together. There's a lot of writing that needs to be done too. A lot of information that needs to be kind of clarified and stuff like that. But
Isn't there a vote going on right now for more starch pools?
it starts on the 17th, so people
Okay.
can apply. So starch pools stake pools can apply to be a starch pool. There's 2 slots open. The voting starts on the 17th of May, and it ends on June 17th. But
Okay.
people can apply all the way up to
Snapshot.
the 16th.
The snapshot for that was the previous 17th, right?
No, the snapshot will be on May 17th. So people have.
Whoa. Fuck. I'm telling you, there's 3 or 4 of us that were convinced like it had already snapshotted because I was pulling
Oh, no.
snapshot left and right.
No, there was a discussion on Discord, and I think that was where the misunderstanding might happen. But no. We don't have a snapshot just yet. That'll be so. The snapshot will be on the 17th of May, and applications will stop on the 16th of May. So people have rules have up to the 16th. Yeah.
But yes, hit me up. Hit me up whenever that ends. I'll try to keep a close eye on it too. So we'll add those to the list on the drip drop side.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too that I've been thinking. Well, maybe I don't know if adding terms for the starch pool would be a good idea. Like, let's say X amount of epochs, and then you have to kind of there's voting phase again where people have to reconsider. Like, do we still want this pool? Do we still want this other pool? Do we want these other pools to submit? And I don't know. I don't know how we can run that, but
Right.
it might take a little while to implement that because right now it's just been like, well, we add a pool and then we never remove them, right? But we'll see because I don't even know if people want that. But I'm assuming there might be other pools that want to also join. So I don't know. We'll see how that runs if we even do that at all.
Chris, when's the hard date for our bank? When bank accounts switch up?
It is a little ways out. About a month from now.
No.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll tell you the exact number.
Thank you.
Doo.
You know what? I think you're right. You're right.
I know I'm right. Yeah, it's a month from now.
Like June 6th, right?
June 4th. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're good to do it. Let's let the first of the month stuff go and then just do it.
Okay, good. I've got that. Let's see. Next.
Well, we gotta
I put it on your calendar
I see
and
it.
Anthony's calendar.
All right. I think we can go.
Okay.
Monday might be too soon to start pulling triggers, depending on when it's for the first of the month. But we'll go look at it and we can start the process. We got to create new cards, get everything moved over.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah. Starch, I know. I know you've been super busy because me and you are working on a project sort of, but we hadn't even talked to each other in almost a month. I've been busy as shit. I know you've been busy as shit. Everybody's been busy as shit. It's a wild time right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Do what?
There's definitely a lot of stuff going on right now.
Oh yeah.
It just seems like what ended up happening because I haven't been following up. I don't know if you guys know. Like what was going on with Charles, or like he was leaving. I saw that all over the place. People were pissed.
I honestly, personally, all the Cardano drama and politics, I am 100% tuned out right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't care what's going on. Everything will work. Everything will be fine. I have a different job to do, and I don't have time to be stressed out about all that shit too.
But it was all nothing burger. Like it was all people trying to pull shit out of context just to try to get spin and media and narratives and crap. Like it was just Charles being fucking, passionate while he's talking, and then people try to grab that and oh, he said this, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. But then, like, you got everybody's maneuvering, trying to get themselves some money. It's treasury time.
Right. I mean, and rightfully so. It should be that way. Like, I mean, that's competition, right?
Yeah, I know. But good competition's one thing. But like the fucking Special Olympic short buses showed up too, and it was like, what the fuck y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Yeah, no, they're getting off. They're getting off. And they just kept going. But yeah, no, like there's scope for what the treasury should be spent for, and like what you're willing to kind of risk, and just fucking paying people to be here. That's not within scope.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay people to be here, I can be here.
Yeah, I can be here too. I can be here in unequivocally the most unproductive time. Let's go.
All right, guys.
All right, can we go home?
Yeah, I got some stuff I gotta go take care of. I need to get some chicken food.
Wait. You got to go get some food
Grains.
for your chicken, or like
Yeah.
go eat some chicken food.
I might do that too.
Okay. You got to feed a chicken.
It's kind of messed up. Like, so one of the chickens like sees the bag of feed coming, but gets snatched up and becomes the meal. Like that's so messed up.
That's what happened to Tyrannosaurus Rex. Where the fuck you ever have fucking chicken? That motherfucker was 3 feet tall. He would eat the shit out of your ass.
I do wonder what dinosaur would have tasted like. Would it have tasted like chicken?
Yeah.
I think like lizard probably.
Lizards probably taste like chicken, I bet.
Can we bring those back? Can we bring back dinosaurs?
Well, that's the whole idea of the woolly mammoth, man. We're gonna solve world hunger like with these giant. Well, they weren't really giant. I'm kidding.
He brought back the fucking dire wolf.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Crazy son of a bitch.
On the subject of chicken, though, I have tried iguana back when I was living in Puerto Rico, and it tastes like chicken. But there's so many things that taste like chicken, So
yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
So dinosaurs taste like chicken. That's what I heard.
Yeah, Crystal was asking me about dove because
Dove
a bunch of people love. Yeah, I love dove. There's a bunch of people in my family that hunt. I don't think it's gamey at all.
When you're hungry, it ain't. No, it's gamey.
Like alligator, frog legs, all that stuff. That's good. Very chicken-like.
Rabbit is also very close to chicken, but with just a lot of bone.
Rabbit.
What did you say?
You say rabbit?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It was it's a funny story. Like
Turtle's interesting.
I've
never had turtle. I was talking to my granddad about that about a week ago. My great granddad, his father-in-law, used to go turtle hunting with a guy, if you want to call it that. And it was so much work.
No, my dad did it.
Do what?
To take a water hose, put turtles.
I don't want to hear that shit.
That's what my dad did.
It's nasty. She's trying to tell me some gross ass story. Anyway, something about a turtle and a water hose. I tuned it out. Anyway, it's a lot of work for a little bit of meat.
You got to waterboard the turtle?
Turtle got meat in a lot of places.
Maybe the torture adds flavor to the meat. Have you guys had potatoes?
Potatoes?
No, what's that? Yeah, what's that?
This is exotic food from like is it Ireland? I think, I don't know. Is that where potatoes are originally from? I don't know.
Are they from Ireland?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think
Where
they're
do they?
I think they're Asian in origin. Let's see.
There's so many kinds, right?
There's so many tubers. Which tuber is the potato tuber?
Peru and Bolivia. So South
Motherfucker,
America.
your potatoes didn't come from Peru. They came from down the fucking street.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Everybody makes potatoes.
I didn't know that. Peru.
Did the dinosaurs have potatoes, or are they that old?
I think so.
I think we
No,
predate.
they were big ass pineapples. Big.
Just imagine what a potato looked like in prehistoric times.
The Mesozoic potato.
Was
I've
that?
got
Hey,
two IRL starch mines outside right now.
Oh, Chris, weren't you growing potatoes at one point?
Yeah, I'm growing some
Last year.
right now.
How are those doing?
Pretty good. One bed's just kind of starting to, kind of come on, and the other one's I just planted a week and a half ago.
Oh, nice.
So and they're only like they're 2 weeks apart. So
That's good. But have you you've grown them and harvested them, right? And had them, the whole way.
say it again.
So you've grown them, harvested them, and ate them and everything already, like the ones you did. Because I think you were doing some last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to shut it down. I grew 50 pounds or so last year.
Oh crap! That's shit.
50 pounds of potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a very small space. So I'm probably not gonna grow as many this year.
How long does it take you to eat 50 pounds of potatoes?
That's a good question.
It wasn't long. Maybe 2-3 months. I can't
wait,
remember.
how many pounds? How many pounds of potatoes would buy a starch miner? This has got to be something weird.
Yeah, we need to work out that transaction.
I can do some quick math. I mean, I'll just post it on. I'll post it on X. You guys.
Russet.
What's
Yeah, you got to
the-
use like a good russet. Use a couple different types of potatoes, like depending on which type of potato. Like it costs you a few potatoes more.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at potatoes to see what potatoes.
Over engineering department here. I was just gonna pick up a bag of russets, do the math with the with something from Walmart. Let's see. Give me like two seconds and I'll figure it out for you.
If it wasn't for the over engineers, your lives would be boring.
The what?
I'm an over engineer at Starch Industries.
All right, homies. I gotta hit the dusty trail.
Thanks for having us on. Thanks for letting us talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Yep. First
Appreciate it
one
very
in
much.
over a month.
Yeah,
Say it again, Brian.
I appreciate it all very much. Like it's fun to get on these chats and talk with you guys, and share the Murphy Esports way and learn more about Cardano myself. So appreciate having me on, and hope to do it again soon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks for coming and hanging out, dude. We appreciate you.
Good to see you. Abstract, Bone Pool. We'll see you guys later.
All right, man. I'm beat. I'm tired, Chris.
Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Bye, everybody.